Hello, I'm Guelda Redman, and this is the Elevating Women in Business podcast, where we talk to women entrepreneurs and business owners and learn their incredible and unique strategies to finding success. Hello, I'm Guelda Redman, and I'm the founder of the BC Women's Business Network and the host of Elevating Women in Business. Today, our guest is Kelly Maydiniuk. And she has got quite a few things going on in her life. It's quite amazing. She has been in Mary Kay for years and years. She has moved up the Cariboo couple, 3 years. And she now has a bakery business called Ginger Baked, and you can probably guess why. And Meadow Springs branch, she has cabins that they rent out. And she's just started with another business called Cabi that is all about fashions, and it's amazing different fashions. So Kelly, just tell us a little bit about you. Who is Kelly, and what do we want to know about her?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on here today, Guelda. I really love our women's networking group. It's brought so much into my life, so I'm happy to be here. And about me, so I'm 54 years old and I'm married. We just celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary on Monday. So we have 3 children, so I am an empty nester, which is probably why I do all of the things that I do.
Yeah, right.
My kids aren't taking up all my time anymore, so I need to fill that void. Plus, I get bored very easily, so all of the things that I'm involved in are constantly changing, and I'm meeting new people, and so it just really keeps me engaged.
The change of moving up to the Cariboo, that must have been
Oh,
a big difference, right? Because you did live in the city and then you lived in Chilliwack
mm,
in kind of a rural setting. And
yes.
then now moving to a very rural setting, because you have a lot of acreage, right? You probably don't have like close
160
neighbors.
acres.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have a ranch. We have cattle, and I have my goats, which I just love on. We don't eat them or do anything with the goats, but which my husband thinks they're freeloaders, but they bring me
Yeah.
lots of joy. So that's why I have my goats. And we have ducks and chickens, and we do meat rabbits now. We're trying to be as self-sustainable as possible. I've been throwing around the idea of getting a dairy cow because I really would like to have my own milk, cream, butter, but my husband's just not on board yet. He still works down in the city, and he's got 2 years left till he retires, and then maybe I'll be able to talk him into more self-sustainable thing. But yeah, the Cariboo is amazing. I've had to meet all new people because I only knew one person up here, and Sandra, and she has introduced me to a lot of people, and I've grown my network that way, but still not as many friends as I had down in Chilliwack or in Vancouver too, because yes, I did grow up
Yeah.
in Surrey and lived everywhere, but down there. So yeah, the Cariboo is just a different way of life. It's very simple and relaxed and kind up here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Kelly, when your kids were smaller, you started a direct sales with Mary Kay, and a lot of people really struggle with that, and they're not really, they want something, but they're not really sure how to grow. And direct sales can sometimes have such a bad connotation with people. I believe it's one of the most brilliant business
Mhm.
models that there is, because you don't have all that extra work to do. You just do your sales and you're good to go. How did you find success with that? And like, why did you start it? And how did you find success with it?
Well, my direct sales business is Mary Kay. I just celebrated in October my 20th year of business with Mary Kay. My youngest was a year old when I started, and I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. My very first foray into entrepreneurship was the Rainbow vacuum cleaners when I was 18 years old. I know they're still around because they're fabulous. It's just people weren't spending $4,000 on a vacuum cleaner back when I was 18 years old. It was not on anybody's priority list. And I don't think people were as health conscious back that long ago. That's sort of been a much more newer development. So I would love to have a rainbow vacuum now, but we have hardwood, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, so that was my very first taste of it. And then I just tried. So I just always tried things. And I just ended up with Mary Kay, and it was the one that stuck. Because just the women, meeting the women. I never, growing up, I was bullied in elementary school by girls. So I kind of had all of my friends were boys, and I was quite a tomboy, just because they were my friends, I guess. So I would do what they did and just was not into girly things, and didn't really have very much trust in the girl relationship until I got older and found my people, and started to learn that women really can empower each other so much when there's not competition involved, right? Or you're just like-minded with other women. And so I think that's what drew me to Mary Kay, because it's mostly all women, and they're just so encouraging, and everybody wants everybody to succeed. So there's not that element of competition. And with Mary Kay, we don't take each other's customers. If you meet a customer that already uses Mary Kay, your first question is, oh, who's your consultant, right? You refer her back to that person. So there's always support that way with each other. You don't have to worry about if you're doing your customer service properly, and your customers love you and you take care of them. Even if they go to a party with somebody else, they'll say, oh, my consultant's Kelly, and I know that that consultant will refer her back to me, and so I won't lose her, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just the friendships that I have gained.
I think that's one of the things that direct sales companies do so well, is building community with their consultants, and also usually great training that comes along with it as well. And, it's always kind of a hit and miss whether or not the person who sponsors you puts a lot of effort back into you, but there's always someone up the line who,
yeah.
So right now, what is your focus? Which do you focus on in your businesses?
Well, with Mary Kay, I'm slowly building clientele up here. I still have all, because we can build all the way across Canada in Mary Kay as a consultant, and then you can go internationally and worldwide as you move up the career path. So I still have all of my customers that I had before moving, and it's great because my husband still works down there and I carry my store here. So people just tell me their orders, and then I have my husband and my kids and they're all my little delivery people, right? So
that's awesome.
I'm still able to do that. But for my customers that aren't in Chilliwack, Mary Kay has direct ship. So that's a great option. So building up here, I do the women's fair. I did it last year for the first time because I missed out on my first spring here because I didn't know about it. And so last year was my first time doing the Cariboo Women's Fair, and it was incredible. Just
good.
There must have been 88 women in business at this fair. And I was there by myself, so I didn't get a chance to go around and meet everybody else, but I'm doing it again this year. And then I've started the chapter up here for the BC Women's Business Network. It's been slow, but I think if I persevere, which you have to do in your business as well, I think direct sales works when we do, right? So if you don't work, then you're not going to grow your business. And you really have to figure out what you want from your business, what your why is. Mine, for when I started 20 years ago, I wanted to be home with my kids. But financially, I couldn't. So I had goals, but my main reason was to be home with my kids. So if I did a party a week or grew my customer base for reorders, because that's with skincare and cosmetics, you put it on, you wash it off, and you're going to need more in a few months. Right?
Yeah.
It's consumable. And I just loved all of the products myself too. So getting it at a discount when you're a consultant is fabulous too, right? So it all worked, and I never missed anything. I worked my Mary Kay around my kids rather than the other way around, right? And you can make a little or a lot, just depending on what you are willing to do and put into it. Because if you don't do anything, you're not gonna make anything or meet anybody. So
yeah. And that's true of any business. And I think it's true. And the fact that you're like talking about that, there's this sort of concept, I think, with a lot of people when they join a direct sales, is that it'll sell itself. And or you build it and people will come, and it's not the way it is. You still have to work it. It is a business. You still have to work it. You still have to make your goals and complete the tasks needed to get there. But really the biggest thing is you have to love it.
Yeah.
You have to love what you're selling. You need to be your biggest customer, that you're using.
Absolutely.
And consumable is always a great option because you build that client base and they are reordering all the time, which is gold.
Yes.
So how would you, if somebody else wants to do what you're doing, direct sales or Mary Kay, how would you coach her?
First of all, I would ask, like, what does she want? If you don't know why you want to do something, then you won't work it and you won't love it or make money. And then you'll think that business doesn't work. But I think there's just so many beautiful direct sales companies out there, and they all work, right? It just depends what you want and what your passion is. So for mine with Mary Kay, you have to love women. You have to love helping. So that would be one of the first things. Probably if she's asking about Mary Kay specifically, she probably loves the products and wants to share those, right? That's my main thing, is that I know what the products have done for me. So first of all, you want to share that, and kind of, I guess they call it recruiting or sharing. You have to love women to do that, and you have to want to help them make their lives better financially, because you can make a lot of money with this, and you can change a lot of lives. This company's been around for over 65 years. She started in 1963. So really just finding out what she wants and where she wants to go. And then you build your plan and you work that plan. And that's what I would ask. Like, how many hours a week do you want to work? Because if you want to just make an extra $200 a month, then, that's maybe 2 to 3 hours a week, right? But if you want to replace an income and make this your career, then that is more like a 25 to 35 hour a week job, right? To do that. So it can be a hobby, but hobbies cost money. Right? So if you treat your business like a hobby, it will cost you money. If you treat it like a business, and that can be whatever that looks like for you, but if you treat it like a business, it will help you financially. And with, like you said, the personal growth that I have gained through this business, Mary Kay, and the training that direct sales gives you, I could never have sat here talking with you like this, knowing, I mean, I know it's just you and me right now, but people are going to be watching this later.
Yeah.
I could never have done that, 20 years ago. I
Yeah.
was so shy and not, I guess, self-confident, right? I didn't have a lot of self-confidence, I guess, internally, that ability to walk into a room and not feel like everybody's staring at you or judging you, because they're not. But you do that in your own mind. With Mary Kay, I just learned, I guess, because of the support and no judgment and just people lifting you up all the time, and even just clapping for you that you had a great week, going to
Yeah.
our weekly sales meetings.
Yeah.
What did Mary Kay always say? If you had a great week, we need you, and if you had a bad week, you need us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said it more eloquently than that, but that was the gist of it. Just
Yeah.
that support. And
Yeah.
yeah, so personal growth is huge, and I've totally gotten off track, but yeah. The
This is
very
good.
first thing I would ask somebody thinking of a direct sales business is the why, and how much are you willing to work,
Yeah. And
right?
it really comes down to the why. You have to want the result more
Yeah,
than you're afraid to do the work that you have to do. And it's always
yeah,
very intimidating. But that's with any business, not just direct
yeah.
sales. And
Starting
that's
anything
where,
new
it's
is
easier if
scary.
you believe in it, right? If
Yes.
you believe in it and you know that you've got that community behind you that's will help with wording and all of those things, because I know, but I'm like that too. And your mind goes blank, right? But I love direct sales for the exact same reason. I think they have amazing communities and we can learn a lot from that.
Yeah, not just the products or the business. There's
So much
that you
value.
learn, that you take into your personal life, that, you know, even if you're only in it for a year, if you immerse yourself, the growth that you do personally is,
Yeah.
you'll take that forever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, mhm.
And you always have that feeling when you come into it. You have to know that you're the one, you have to say, I want this really badly.
Yes,
The leaders that are working with you, they've got thousands of women that
yeah,
they're working with. They cannot work with someone who's like, I just can't do that. You have to have that mentality of, I'm going to do this no matter what. I need this. I'm going to do it. And they will bend over backwards for you.
yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of it for women, we're so emotional, right?
Yeah.
And we self-sabotage. It's all that negative self-talk in your brain,
Hmm.
and learning to get out of your own way, out of your own head, and just know that you can do this. You looking at all of the women or men who have done it before you, that if they can do it, and they all businesses say this, if I can do it, you can do it. I wasn't always this multi-millionaire confident person standing up here, right? I started where you started, and they truly
Yeah.
did. So that's
Yeah.
not just something that people say, right? That is actually true. And that's, I think, one of my most favorite things when I go to seminar or the conferences that successful direct sales companies hold for their people, is all of the personal stories. I
Hmm.
love that. That's my most favorite part, is hearing
Hmm.
about how they've grown and changed their lives because they did that.
It's a business just like any business. So you are now the chapter leader of our Cariboo chapter. So
Yes.
what I'm wondering is, what draws you to networking? What would you say is the biggest benefits to someone coming to a networking meeting, and how has it impacted your career?
How much you learn from other women, the energy that you get, and being around like-minded people, right?
Hmm.
Because I think what drew me to the direct sales or to the marketing was how positive everybody is. You know, the world is a crazy place, and it's so easy to just be negative. And, you know, the first thing people say is no. Like it's just kind of is the first thing that comes into people's heads is just kind of that negative, rather than just, sure, let's give it a try. Being with the networking group, when you go to these meetings, everybody's so positive and encouraging and empowering. And that's what I love about that. When I started immersing myself into the community, the first thing I did was join, it's called Better at Home, and it's enabling seniors to stay in their homes longer, but they need volunteers for that. So
Right.
I joined that so that I could help, because seniors, they need our help. And a lot of them, they don't have family up here. Their family has moved away. So I
Mm.
have a couple gals that I guess they call them our clients, but they've become my friends. And once a week, I take them into town and do their appointments and grocery shopping and things like that. And that's even just empowering, you know, to empower them to stay in their homes. So just being positive and bringing that to the community. So that's why I wanted to bring our networking group up here, because there's so many women that are in business up here,
Yeah.
so many things, right? And I just think that they need a group like ours, not
Mhm.
only to grow their businesses and share with everybody across our province wide, right? And
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
but because if they just stay in this community, it's not very big. The Cariboo is big, but 70 Mile, 100 Mile, you know,
Yeah.
Williams Lake, it's they
Each
need
little
to grow.
city.
So that's why I wanted to bring it here, so that they can experience what we all experience in this group.
Yes. I think that we hear often over and over that women will come for the first time and they're very nervous. They're not sure what to expect. They're not sure
Mhm.
what's expected of them, which
Mhm.
is very intimidating. And maybe they've been to networking before, and every networking group is different. Some of them are
Yes.
a little more intense, some are less so. But after coming for a few times, you just see this blossom of self-confidence, because they know now they're coming into a room, and it's not a room of strangers, it's a room of friends. It's
Yeah.
a community, whether they're coming to their own community meeting or going to another one, they know what kind of women now go there. And yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I hear so often about people that go to networking meetings is the communities that get built and the support and encouragement that they get out of those. The ability to come with an issue. And sometimes it's a personal issue and not even a business issue. Sometimes it's a personal issue. And, I mean, in a group of women, for sure,
Yeah.
we talk
Yeah.
about everything
Everything.
to do. So,
In
someone's
detail.
right in graphic detail. And
Yeah.
so, but it's great to have that space and to know that.
Yeah.
I always laugh because there'll be that one woman, she's going, okay, so I have a question. It's not really about business. And immediately you're
We're
thinking,
like, bring
okay, now it's
it.
going to get interesting.
Yeah.
And it's great. The friendships, the collaborations, everything that comes out of having a community where you do network. And, I keep hearing this, and I'm starting to use it more as, we're not just a community, we're a movement. And I really feel like, as we're spreading across BC, that we're like that. We're like taking this sense of, women just being there for each other and just trying to spread it all over, which
Hmm.
is so amazing, so amazing.
Yeah.
So I was just
The
thinking when
power
you were
of
the
amazing.
power of
We
women.
don't
Oh
know
my
our power.
gosh. I think historically women have been held back a lot.
Yeah.
And that sense of, we don't have men in our networking group for really good reasons. And it's not because we don't like men, but men
Right.
network differently than women do. And we don't want there to be a sense of intimidation or a sense of we have to do it their way. We get to come to this group and be women, and we network with our hearts, and we network by, talking about our families and our fur babies and our goats and our cows.
Yeah, personal connections, right?
Such
That is
personal
so
connections.
important for
It
us.
really is.
And that
Really
is how
is.
we build trust. And we
Yes.
want to support women or businesses who we trust. Yeah.
Yes. And having that sense of, like who are our women-led businesses in town, because you can't always tell. Some of them are brick and mortar,
Right.
and you don't know if they're women-led. But wouldn't that be great to know that, and know that you can walk in there and say, I'm going to support you because you're a badass woman, and I just think that's amazing that you're doing this. Like, good on you, and I'll support you till the cows come home. So yeah, I think it's great. I feel like it is kind of a movement of just that sense of, we really have to be there for each other. We really have to stand up and say, I've got your back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do it with just such love and kindness in our hearts, especially in a time when, after COVID and all of that, and you just saw kindness go out the window. We really need to get back to saying, no, 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 we got you. So
I agree.
is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
When did you start this group in your sister's home? Like, that was the very first place.
Well, I
that
started it in my home. I
Okay.
started it January of 2017, and then
Yes.
it closed, and then I kind of reopened it again. And then we started at Jill's. That was probably a couple years in when I switched from doing it under HeartLink to, at that point, it was Chilliwack Women's Business.
Started.
Yeah, that's when you started coming. But we knew each other from prior, for living in the same community here. But yeah. So yeah, we've been around for a while now, which is crazy.
I know. I just always talk about this group because it really is just so honest and heartfelt. And I did a live this morning on my personal Mary Kay thing. And I said, if you're a woman in business, you need to be a part of this group, right? So I'm always telling people, and it really does make a difference to have people in your corner. To have the support of your sisterhood is so important, right? Because you might not always have it from your spouse, because they don't look at all of your personal growth and your friendships and your connections and the networking that you're doing. They don't look at that as important. To them, it's the money. Right?
Yes.
That's what's important. Like, you're going out and spending all this time.
Yes.
But what could you possibly have to talk about every month or every week, right? It's just, they don't think the way that we do. And so you need this, right?
Yeah.
You need that support.
Yeah.
If you're not getting it at home or from your family, because quite often your family can be your toughest,
the worst customers,
always,
and worst supporters. Like, it's funny because
Yeah.
it's like, even if you don't expect you to buy anything, but can you just let people know about it?
Yeah.
Share my posts.
And it's true. And that can be very, what's the word? Like, that can detour somebody,
undermines your
stop
whole
you in your
confidence,
tracks.
right?
Like, if your own family isn't supporting you, then nobody else is going to. And that comes with confidence too, knowing that you can still do this on your own. And it goes back to you saying you have to really want it, and you have to put yourself out there, because nobody's going to come to you. The more you put out there, the more that comes back to you. It's the universe thing. And it's true with people as well.
Totally.
I love this group for that reason.
Yeah. Because you have to put it out there before you can grow the confidence to know that you can do it. But
it doesn't work the other way.
Having that community around you that's going, oh no, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do it. Then it makes a huge difference. So, well, thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us today, and we'll be back in a couple weeks with another amazing woman in business. So I hope you all join us again, and please subscribe. Thank you for joining us, and check the notes for information about our guest. I invite you to join us at the BC Women's Business Network to meet many more amazing women. Hit the subscribe button and join us again next time on Elevating Women in Business.